Also, please forgive the fact that there's no sound on the video for the game itself because I wasn't paying attention. I'm not going to delete an entire session and try and roll back my save file so that way I could just get sound for the game. Also, the fact of in the first episode I noticed that I wasn't talking a lot because I was concentrating, and I don't know, I just want to talk about random things that involve the game and whatnot without having to worry about concentrating because I've already done that already. I believe I'm trying to get trying to build that second O2 tank. The biggest concern with these first two episodes was just getting the controls right. Just the right clicking of the mouse I was having so much difficulty with, or pressing tab for my inventory. Like I said, I used to play this on Xbox, and I know this game like the back of my hand, but a lot of things are different. First off, stability, like even the port to Xbox itself don't get me wrong, the team that created this game are fantastic. Whenever I bought this, I went and bought Subnautica 2 bundle, just because I want to play the heck out of that as well. One thing I thoroughly enjoy about playing on the PC with this game is catching fish with your mouse instead of doing it with a controller. It is so much more different and difficult to catch fish with a controller because you have to move the thumb, which turns you for the joystick. You have to press a button, the A button, to catch them. So the same thing, same digit that you use, you got to stop and try and grab them at the same time. It's just so freaking difficult as opposed to a mouse where I can turn some wild stuff and whatnot. And yeah, I think I'm talking randomly about random bullcrap. Just ignore me. I did the next episode last night, which I solved all the sound problems and everything like that. And so it'll be a much better content. That and I screwed up so much. Well, you'll get to see that. One thing I do not miss about starting off whenever you get a little bit farther into the game is, being able to create farms and whatnot, and I do not miss collecting fish. Don't miss it one bit. It's annoying. I mean, they're easy to find naturally, but when you have ready available food at your disposal, it just makes things so much simpler. You don't gotta chase it down. It's like, oh look, there's a lantern tree or watermelon or whatever it is, and threshers. They're not necessarily a pain in the butt, but they're more of an annoyance. Not necessarily because they attack you, but just because you need their teeth at some point. The stalkers. I don't know why I call them threshers, but and in the Xbox version, I don't know about the PC version yet. I'm not up there, but when you get a scanning room and you start scanning for their teeth, they're in the ground because the ground didn't form and didn't render in as fast. So you miss a lot of teeth. And me forgetting that I need oxygen. I believe this guy's going to chase me down and I have to assert my dominance. Yep. Gotta let him know who's boss. Unless they're married. Trying to figure out for this episode if I'm going to try and put in some music in the background. I have all this music library of royalty-free music on my video editor, but I just don't want to get flagged over some nonsense. So I think I might just keep this one no music for now. If you hear any slurping, I apologize. I'm drinking coffee while I'm doing this. And if you hear any loud walking, that's a 120-pound bulldog that's just wandering by. He's trying to find his place in the world. I want to do the commentary while I'm playing the game, but this seems much more relaxed. You got to spend a lot of time actually editing the video. So doing the voiceover while you're editing it. I mean, the funny thing is that even whenever you're playing the game and whatnot, whenever you get to editing it, which is not on the same day because you're doing other stuff, could you make any more noise? Tiberius. Anyway, you forget a lot of the things that you did in the game. So if a lot of people who voice over it whenever they're playing, if they're looking for reactions, well, you still got them. Because you forget a lot of the stuff that you did. I mean, not sure what I'm doing here. The thing that I like to do at the beginning of the game is ignore the entire radio system. Just don't talk to it, don't interact with it, leave it alone. I like to go out and find things, mainly the laser cutter, and scan things so that way I can get like the sea moth and whatnot. Because I want to build. That's my ultimate goal, is I want to build my base. I want to get all the stuff that I need, and I want to deal with the ship that crash landed. I want to go in there and grab all that stuff too, and I want to do it as quickly as possible so that way I can build. That's really dark. Get away from me, stalker. Definitely looking for that I hate it whenever the camera moves because you're swimming, and while you're scanning, your stuff bounces up and down. It's ridiculous. True to life, but still. Now I think I finally got everything I need for that second O2 tank. One thing I loved about the Subnautica series was the uh, health packs that you can get. Even when there's no power, that thing still runs. And later on you'll see I'll fill up entire locker with them after I build the Cyclops. Just throw all that stuff in there. Cyclops becomes the mobile base and so on and so forth. Well, you guys will see. I get very intricate with it. I love traveling in this game. I like exploring. Even stuff that I already know is there, I still like to explore it anyway. That is one of the worthless things ever created in the game. Just, I never use it. I'd rather just catch fish with my fingers. It's just easier. For those who don't know, that's a membrane that puts out oxygen. I think I got lost in what I was doing there for a second. For those new to the game itself, if you don't know what's going on, there is a multitude of things that you can do, will do, what I'm going to do. It's just fascinating. The game is beautiful. These people who made this truly love building games. More importantly, they're very interested in the world. They're very in love with their own worlds that they create. It's one thing I can absolutely respect. Another thing that's nice about them is no microtransactions, no bullcrap like that. I bought a game, and now I have it, and now I can play it, and there's nothing I have to worry about beyond that. They had some slow starting off the bat just because they're an indie company, which is one thing everybody knows that we at Halo 7 enjoy is the indie developers the most. I guess because they're down to earth, or they seem like they're down to earth, which is fine with me. This is the point I realize I need glass, which is why I stockpiled it. And then I forget to take off the O2. And now I can be underwater longer. Yay! The beginning of the game always sucks because, well, it doesn't suck. I think it's freaking awesome that you got to go hand pick everything up just because you have no technological advancement like a scanner room and whatnot that can find the things that you're looking for. Like if I need silver, I have to go physically out there and find little pieces of rock to smash to see if silver comes out, and there's a 1/3 chance of that between gold, lead, and silver. So every rock I find, I gotta find 3 just to find 1 usually. But as the game advances, or as you advance within the game, everything becomes so streamlined, and you start taking advantage of it, and you kind of miss the hand-to-hand, in-your-face way of doing things. But I guess that's how it is in real life. Those little sumbitches. I hate them. I'm pretty sure they get me killed. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Oh, he has a really short mind. Whatnot. Just doesn't remember things. Not true. I have about 500 things going on at once. Editing other videos, creating other content, developing a game myself, writing a book. I have countless things to go on, and my brain just says, no, you can't remember it all. So that's what it is. Yeah. Really close to death there. I think this is the part where I sit and wait. I don't know, I'll find out here in a second. Yeah, this is the part where I'm playing with fire. Idiot. Now, I have played this on hardcore, or whatever it is, and never died. But I'm not doing this series just so I can show how hardcore of a gamer I am. No, this is purely for entertainment, enjoyment of the game. There's a lot of people that will come here who won't be interested in me. They'll be interested in just watching somebody else play the game because the game is freaking fantastic. And here's where I become an idiot. There you go. I deserve that. And I panic and check and see what I lost. And vow to never do that again. Forgive me, I have a little bit of a cold today.
Yo ho, yo ho, burrito life for me.
Sometimes you can get them, like you hit them a couple times and they don't explode on you, they just die, but most of the time you're just unlucky. There's no useless thing. I don't use that at all. I know a lot of people use it, like Jacksepticeye and so on. I just, nope. It takes up too much room. It doesn't give you the speed that you would think it should, or at the very least, give you more oomph in your swimming. I don't know. I like to keep the space, keep as much space open as possible. So I never use a sea glide. But that's what I'm looking for. I think I'm just running around breaking a lot of things just so that way it'll appear on the map whenever I use the scanning room. I always enjoyed the kelp forest. There was just the greens, the yellow hue, everything like that. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. It's usually where I build my first base, which you will see later on. I'm not sure what I'm going to do this series. Beating the game is easy. The storyline is not bad. Honestly, with the indie devs, what they were capable of doing, what they wanted to do, I don't think that. I think a lot of it was spur of the moment, as far as storyline is concerned. I think they had an idea of where they were going with it, but they didn't implement too much detail into it. I think it was, and honestly, for this type of game, they did it right. You were hooked on the storyline just because the storyline was good, but it wasn't an overwhelming thing. Like say if you play a Mass Effect game or something like that, where you're just like, man, there's some huge ulterior motive going on, and you're just trying to get through and whatnot. No, this one is. Even after you beat it, you can go back and play this game multiple times just because, yeah, I like to build or I like to explore or things like that. And had to build a rebreather. Time for the habitat builder, I think. Another thing I thoroughly enjoy is, although in my opinion some of the stuff they let you be able to build is unnecessary, it's junk, or is just not needed because you can immediately go to the next step, which is much better instead of wasting time doing the small things. Like, for example, the air breathing pipes and whatnot. Never used them ever. in any of the games that I've played, because you can get the sea moth pretty quickly. And you just use that as your mobile air base, so to speak. Now it's weird. In the Xbox version, when you slash those things, they break into pieces and you can pick them up piece by piece. And this one, it really confused me because you hit one and the entire thing falls, and that's that. And now here's the stupid part. I put that thing in there and then forget about it. Not the brightest crayon in the box sometimes. Now I could definitely cut this down and edit it to 15-minute segments and whatnot, but I don't want to. I think this should be a all or nothing thing. If I cut anything out, it's just like, say, a loading screen, like when you first start the game. But other than that, I think it should just be intact as is, so you can see my screw ups. Or how many times I run back and forth because I forget some type of material. I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, even I'm sitting here wondering what the hell you doing, dude. Yeah, you got food, but did you get what you were out there to get? I'm definitely looking forward to the full version of Subnautica 2, or whatever it's called. Uh, from what I've seen from people like Jacksepticeye and whatnot, really got me interested. I like to thank Jacksepticeye just because of him getting me interested in this game. He's not exactly my cup of tea. He's more my 8-year-old's cup of tea. But I like these type of games, and he absolutely got me fascinated with it. And I put that out there for anybody. Another reason why I'm doing this is just because if you like survival games, this game is gorgeous, and you can do a poop ton of things in this game. And you can keep coming back to it. You don't have to play it for hours on end each day. You can just play it for like a half hour and just get your fill, and you're good. And it's grand. I would recommend this game to anybody. For example, a lot of the animals in here, you don't necessarily have to. You you shouldn't kill, or you will ever feel the need to kill, but there are other creatures out there that you can absolutely kill, but they're really difficult to kill, and you can turn this game into a combat simulator once you get a lot of the vehicles and whatnot with missiles and hand build all this stuff and go toe to toe with some devastating monsters out there. I mean, it's up to you, but I'm just saying the game kind of has a lot for everybody, or something for everybody. What I love to do is build bases all around this entire landscape. Everything is underwater, except for a few key places. I don't know what I'm doing right there. I think I'm. Oh. And that's when I figured it out. I took off the audio of this particular recording, but I figured it out, and that's how it's going to be for the next installment version episode of this game. Is I'm actually going to have everything playing in the background. One of my favorite rooms to build. Because of that room right there, for every base I create within this game, that's the first room I build. And I try to connect them all via tunnels and whatnot. And I don't know, I built some intricate stuff. Seeing what I can do with the computer now. It seems a little bit different, I guess, because the port, or just a better version, I don't know. Oh yeah, I think this is the countdown. Or not. My hunt for the sea moth has borne fruit. And the bioreactor. Yay. People who don't know about the game, you have to run around or swim around and scan things that you can make with the machines that you have. If you don't scan them, you don't get the blueprints to make them. And certain things you absolutely want to go look for the moment you enter the game. Hey, stuff for my living room set. Those things are harmless, but they're very beautiful. They're like whales. Big whales. Like humpbacks and blues. If you can, scan everything. It's not necessary at all. It's good for the lore, things that you can read in your spare time if you choose to. This was a dick move. Nobody wants them. Ugh. That's a life pod from the ship that crash landed. Each one gives you some unique items that you can use to your advantage. I'm not even sure if I even got this. Now that I look at that, I'm not even sure I used those fins. That's going to become very important later on. Bioreactor. I have every type of, or I will have every type of energy creation device within my base, my original base that I have. I noticed the island over there, so in the Xbox version, I don't have a high graphics card on there, so I don't get to see all that stuff from a distance. I thought that was really cool. Caught my attention. Now, throughout the game, there are lots of wreckage from the initial ship that crashed, and also wreckage from ships that crashed that you were not aware of. And they also have different things, but they're also like a bit, I wouldn't say puzzles, but some of them you got to get through small areas to get to other areas for you to get blueprints and things like that that you can use. Those little shits suck. They're not bad, they're just annoying. Now, as I stated in the discussion area of the first video, I know I'm late to the party with the Subnautica series, so I'm preaching to the choir on this, but I'm also explaining things to people who have never seen this, never been interested in gaming or anything like that. You never know. Try and convert some people if you can. Gaming isn't bad, it's whenever you spend your entire life, day in and day out on it. That's whenever I think it starts to become a bit of an addiction problem. That's also a person's choice, whatever they want to do. I would love to do this type of stuff with Mr. J, but unfortunately he is stuck on PlayStation and he's not really interested in doing a keyboard mouse setup. I told him he can hook up controllers and whatnot, but I don't know. I'll figure something out. I think he and I's dynamic as far as just how we play games or how we interact with each other on a daily basis. I think it would be funny for a lot of people. People would rather enjoy that content, so I'm going to see what I can do with that.